Hello and welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today. Hi there. I'm going to bring you the Galactic Councilorship report for December 2017. This is going to cover the dates of November 22nd through December 20th. Hello. Welcome. And just essentially, just so you know, that's Sagittarius season. So things are shifting. Things are going to be really revving up here in the material plane. I've opened up a Stargate from the Sagittarius constellation, and it seems like who came through the gate was Venus. Okay, so this is fascinating. You know, the solar season in Sagittarius does start in November, around the 22nd, depending on where you are on the globe. You know, it's locally when it all gets looked at relatively. That's a little joke there. But, you know, Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, and Venus, which traditionally rules Libra and Taurus, that actually, those went conjunct in the constellation of Scorpio, which is right before Sagittarius, on the 13th of November. Okay, so that's just a little bit over a week, so almost a moon cycle before the solar season began. Okay, and you know, in terms of lunar medicine, we are still in the lunar month of Scorpio. I mean, the lunar month starts at the new moon and goes the new moon. So we're in the lunar month of Scorpio until the Sagittarius new moon, which actually is on the 18th of December. So it says here that what we're doing already is dealing with an epiphany of some kind. Now, an epiphany could mean different things to different people. So I want to say on one level, it's as if something from the shadows is emerging. Wherever we're feeling traumatized, I want to say. So there's an epiphany here because on some level we've been traumatized. Maybe post-traumatic distress, maybe hypervigilance, maybe survival mode, or even feeling like we're being punished or victimized because maybe the other side might be somewhat pessimistic, somewhat devilish in their nature, or their shadows being revealed, or they're projecting their shadow element at us. It's because really ultimately there is some passive aggression, but we don't know which side of the scale we're on. Sometimes it's going to be us who's being passive aggressive and the other person is feeling traumatized. Sometimes it's going to be us who's feeling traumatized and the other side, the other party, person, place, or thing is going to be feeling traumatized. Now, we're going to need to align ourselves with our intuition and allow that. Believe it or not, your intuition is the intellect of the spirit. Okay, it's the emotions that are the intellect of the soul, of the self. Okay, so as these impressions really impress upon us, frankly, we're going to need to move in alignment with our values. Again, you know, this is a step beyond intuition. You can embody and experience these things at the same time in the same place and affect the outcome. Okay, that's the mastery here, and that would be knowing where you stand, knowing your values, knowing your needs, knowing what's alive in you, what you're wanting, thinking, and needing, and your boundaries, what you're wanting, thinking, and needing in this space right now. What's in alignment with you, and how do you make value judgments versus moral judgments? Yeah, of course. You know, when you're deeply engaged with somebody, in whatever level that is. So much so where there's been some type of activity where they might exact judgment. Okay, bad pleasures would be one of them. Parenting could be another one of them, especially when you're sending your child off for 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and people are coming back having a judgment about your abilities, your talents, okay, your virtues, your values, your persona. Okay, so all those things can come up to bat. Now, ultimately, we do need to find a higher sense of divinity when it comes to the great feminine, to the divine feminine, to the great mother. We also need to allow ourselves, our vehicles itself, to be the chariot, the vehicle through which spirit can manifest here in the material planes. Now, ultimately, we're going to need to, with our higher selves, begin to discern or recognize the mystical aspect of the divine feminine that's around us as well. Okay, so there's a lot coming up to bat here, but this breakdown, dissolution, upheaval, unraveling of our structures and our foundations is only going to be when we're unwilling to, take a risk, when we're unwilling to drive life forward because for some reason we're scared, or for some reason we feel like we need to work under other people's timelines or under other people's rules, where we're not able to pull back and, utilize our discernment or do some soul searching by withdrawing our energy and not making a decision, not being pressured from external sources, only being in alignment with your values and your wisdom that you've gained over time. Frankly, when you need to utilize the higher self, it's because you're trying to come into some deep sense of mastery. When you realize that there's either hidden aspects to the path that you're on, or there are deceptive players in the game, or there might be an agenda that might be in opposition to yours. It might square you, or your need to participate in societal functions, right? Be whatever role you're supposed to be according to what you've inherited, not according to your merit, but the place that you've been put in, either through birth or other endowments. You might not be in alignment with that. You might need to shift, grow according to, again, people, places, and things. Let's just say other being the soul group. You might need to be more in alignment with the soul group, not society. You might need to find your tribe and break away from the masses and be in your friends group, because that might be where the growth is for you, or where you can begin to perceive the higher phenomena of whatever game that you're playing. And I want to be as clear as possible, and then alternatively, just remember that we're leaving behind cycles where we're stuck. Okay, so when I say cycles where we're stuck, when we ourselves feel like our soul, our spirit cannot break out, be free, that it has to play with some type of matrix or holographic reality or Hunger Games, when we feel like we were made tribute without our knowledge to means, methodologies, and mechanisms in society that erode our sovereignty, erode our, when we're stuck in something that we gave our power over to, and our power was given over, and we might not have been 100% conscious or 100% willing or 100% open in that. These are all the things where we're going to feel like these epiphanies are coming through, because it's now time. It's time to address some things that weren't. Where are we now really wise and things very clear on where we've come from, who we used to be, where we used to be at in our lives? Where do we now feel or find that there's things that could be done? Where now things are in our control. Whatever our heart's desires are, we can now manifest them. Okay? We're needing really clearly an aha moment, or to face something, or to make a final judgment anywhere we have been unwilling to sit in the cycle or allow the universal functions to move, allow other people, places, and things to do things for us, to make decisions for us. Okay, so it's time now to give ourselves that ability to take a risk, to step out into a bigger, brighter, better future. If we've been unwilling to believe in a bigger, brighter, better future and face our shadows, face those things alive in us, and make a clear movement forward, this is going to be the time. And this is what the Sagittarius month is going to teach us. The Sagittarius month, in terms of solar medicine, is really going to enable us to move on, move forward, leave some things clearly behind us. Because I want to say, intellectually, well, no, spiritually, we've been looking for a new perspective. We've been trying to arrive at places where we can make cutbacks, or where we can now make changes according to the deeper insight that we have. Where now maybe we finally have the wherewithal to make some hard decisions, because up until recently we were maybe postponed there was sacrifices made, or again, there was a little bit of pessimism or passive aggressiveness. I'm gonna say it like that. Now we're finding that we're highly skilled, or we're highly insightful, or we're highly courageous, or we have a deep amount of fortitude, that we have a high even tolerance level for certain things, where now we can do that extra little blimp, that extra little mile, that extra little week of dealing with something, because this is the week that the strategy comes through. This is the month, this is the cycle, that insight, that download, that extra missing piece to the struggle comes through. You know, think of the 8, 9, and 10 of wands. So first you're going to be having a lot of ideas, or there's going to be a lot of energy, and then you're going to be exhausted or tired. You're going to need to be clear on why you're doing what you're doing, so that you can get to that 10, which is still a burden. Traditionally, the 10 of wands is a burden. However, it means that you fully established and completed something, and you're going to want to transition on really to the Ace of Pentacles then, because the next month after Sagittarius is Capricorn. So why don't we go ahead and get into these energies here. I'm going to begin with the rising sign of Sagittarius. Now remember that I'm going to end with Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio, it's going to be, well, I'm going to break these videos up again. I'm going to break these videos up. I keep doing this every month. Start with your rising sign. That's going to be most accurate. It's going to be 70% accurate, because normally 70+% accurate, because normally the rising sign deals with predestination. Now, this is a free will world. This is a free will society. However, well, pardon the pun there, but however, there's going to be certain things that can get triggered, so that you have certain experiences and you have the choice to respond however you want to said things. So anything that comes at you or that's magnetized towards you is going to be your rising sign, because energetically that's the energy you put off in terms of a universal function. So the universe would send your directions to you according to your rising sign, not your sun sign. Your sun sign drops to below 30% accuracy, because it deals more with how you might be able to exercise autonomy, frontiers, and control over certain things in your life, how you might be able to prepare or respond to certain things, okay? And then your moon sign, which drops below 25% accuracy, is literally only what your emotional needs are in respect to things. And there's a little bit of fancy footwork, because you need to do a little bit of math whenever you use your moon sign, okay? Because it's not about where it's placed, it's about 4 signs away. So I know you're looking at a Sagittarius video, but literally you'd want to have a Pisces moon to look at the Sagittarius, you know, kind of energy, if you were going to look at Sagittarius. Okay, so peace be with you. Again, start with your rising sign. I'm going to go ahead and start out with Sagittarius. You can also just skip to your rising sign by checking the show notes, okay? And if anything I say resonates deeply with you, remember this is a general reading. I'm going to need to look at your personal energies to be very precise and specific about your current situation. As a policy, I don't answer specific questions for general energies. So again, if you want to book a session, a consultation, anything like that, even a spiritual counseling session, you can access me under donations and booking in the show notes, okay? Or you can go to priestessgorgeous.org or vortexofabundance.org, okay? Peace be with you. Take good care of yourself. Bye.